Welcome to the community call. Today's a kind of a special one. We're going to try something that we haven't tried before. So I want to set expectations. What we are about to show is a demo. It is a test. So if things break, which they probably will, but for the sake of the demo, we hope they won't. But if it breaks, not a big deal. Also, try not to leak anything. This is a special call. We like hanging out with you guys. Obviously, we try to share information here first, and we try to let you guys know, what's up and what the timeline for stuff is and everything else. So, yeah. I don't know, Sammy. Do you just want to get straight? Go ahead.
Before you start, is the recording working?
Yeah, I have the recording working, so we're good. But I honestly thought, do you just want to get right into it? That way, I mean, I don't know if it's going to break or not, or so I just want to make sure we have plenty of time to kind of get through stuff. So do you want to start?
Okay, sure. Let's start.
Sure.
Is Wheels here also?
Yeah, Wheels is here.
Wheels, do you have the permissions to talk?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
Sick.
Okay. Okay, guys. So it's been a long time coming. But today, we are going to give you guys an exclusive look into the PXETH launch. So this has gone under a rigorous audit process with some of the best auditors in the space, like Sparebit. We've been working on it for a long time. Needs a checkbox. So okay. We've been working on it for a long time. I've been talking with some of you guys in DMs. We don't want to rush things. We're going to show you guys some of the features that we've been working on that really sets us aside from a lot of LSDs. I'll be going over mostly the interface stuff, and then Never will be going over the PXETH white paper as well as some of the technical implementations we've been doing. And then Wheels is going to show you a really cool alternate way to view the front end too. So I am going to share screen here.
And really quick, just expectation setting again. This is the testnet launch. We've kind of been saying for weeks now we're going to do a testnet launch first, and then we'll do mainnet launch. So just keep that in mind.
Yes. And you guys will not be able to deposit into it for the upcoming days. But we're going to start, we're going to show you guys what it looks like today. And then, in the upcoming days, we're going to open it up for everyone to see. But, because you guys are our most loyal fans, we decided to give you a sneak peek. So let me try this share screen here. Hopefully it works. Okay. Can we see it?
Yes, we can.
Is it showing the Discord?
No, it's showing it's showing the Dinero site.
Okay, so this is the splash page.
I just want to give a heads up though that it might be a little choppy just because of the way the stream is and the site and everything. So any lag you see is, I think, the stream.
It's the stream, yeah. This is the site. This is the splash page here. We went for this really cool sort of 3D look to it. So as you can see, the screen is kind of following where my mouse is. If you can see my mouse. Here, my mouse is completely on the right, and then you can see on the bottom here, we have this shadow look to sort of the thing, and we have one of our famous redacted videos playing in the background. So this will live on its own separate website, just like Pirex did and Hidden Hand did. And the main push here is to showcase all of the different aspects of the Dinero launch, right? And as you guys know, that starts with PXETH specifically. So obviously there's no numbers here. We should change this to B though, not M.
Yeah. Or T.
Or T, yeah, even a T could work. So we're just showcasing some stats here. As you guys know, this is the logo we decided to go with for PXETH. You guys, for Dinero, you guys will see the PXETH logos in a bit. You guys are also aware that we're going with the two token staking model. What that means is that users can go and farm the different liquidity pools, which we'll be bootstrapping with our treasury, right? And sacrifice the ETH staking yield, or they can go into what we're calling APX ETH, which is giving you only the staking yield and sacrifices all the LP farm yield for the other, right? So both the liquidity yield is boosted and the staking yield is boosted. As you can guys see here, we got a lot of Molecule did a really killer job here working on it, and I don't know if you can see it with the lag, but a lot of cool like animations here. You guys already know this, so I don't have to show it to you again, what we're trying to do here. But for those who are here for the first time, hopefully not because someone told you to join this community call, we're looking to create an alternate way to interact with Ethereum. And that is done by, a three-pronged system, our LSD PXETH, which collateralizes our stablecoin Dinero, which powers our RPC, the redacted relayer. And the redacted relayer fees go back up to PXETH, and we've created this sort of cool little flywheel here that we're bootstrapping with all the resources we've built over the past year. I'll get into these links after, but let's keep going through the website because we have to appreciate this. So I just told you these 3 Legos. Have a bit of scroll jacking here, PXETH, followed with Dinero, followed by the redacted relayer. And today, we're announcing the soft launch of PXETH. This is a little alpha leak here, but we have a cool little animation here telling you guys about our sort of multi-chain plans also, and some of the cool stuff that we've been working on behind the scenes to make sure that we're not only on Ethereum, but also with the big L2s, some newer friends, and also some other L1s. This won't be enabled on day 1 of mainnet because we're also looking at Chainlink and some other bridging solutions. But we're going to make sure we're exactly like it says, we're anywhere and everywhere. And that'll be done through like a variety of different bridges so that we're not centralizing that risk on, sort of one party and can make sure that like our reach goes as far as possible. So let's all appreciate these circles here. You guys all know this. I'm sure a lot of you guys have some exposure to this. There's no new token. All the fees and the governance of the aspect is, managed by RL Butterfly. I don't need to explain this to you guys. You guys probably all know all about this. And there we go. So before we get into the app, let's go over another page here. So, the resources page. So what we tried to do here, we tried to make it very simple or very complex based on like who you are as a user, and make sure that this process is as simple as possible for anyone, right? So we start over here with some very high level overviews from stuff like what is redacted, if you don't know what that is, what is an LST even, right? So you can just hover over them and in a couple sentences get a quick explanation of all of these different things. You can also see the PXETH logo here. It's fucking sick. I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if the zoom works, but
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, so you have the ETH over butterfly, and then APX is like a golden version. Really love our logos. We have this new content managing solution where if you're not coming directly to the redacted site, all of our blog posts and the like will be streamed directly to here, just so you can know what's always the latest, some facts, that you guys can check out on in the coming days, and some technical resources. So here I'll pass it to Never. You guys have all seen the Dinero Light paper. It's on Twitter, but let's do like a 2-minute, 3-minute overview of maybe the white paper.
Cool.
Andy, do you want to do the documentation or the?
Let's actually go through the white paper. It's easier that way. And then we can go into the docs. But I'll keep it very high level because you can read this in your own time.
Another thing I'll add is that all of our documentation and our research papers, light papers, white papers, whatever you want to call them, all lives within the website. So as you can see here, like the white paper is directly uploaded to the website, and same with the relayer paper and the Dinero paper that'll come out after this. But okay, go ahead, Never.
Yeah, I think easiest place to start would probably be like with the features, like an introduction. The first thing is like the actual design of the way we did our tokenomics with PXETH is that we know that there's like 2 places, right? There's the when you put it in the auto PXETH, where you'd be receiving all the rewards from consensus client and execution client, meaning it's also like MEV, whatever, tips and stuff that will be going back towards this vault. So people can just automatically go in, put their PXETH in, and be able to capture that value. And then PXE is more like our liquidity token, where it'll live on many different chains, many different dexes, and you can zap around it. We'll go more into that into the later parts of like the omni-chain process that we're going to be going through. So if you can scroll down to 1.6, it gives you like a good high level overview of kind of the architecture and like how it works within all the other products that we have and the stablecoin.
Is that me?
Yeah, that was you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. We have our relayer and stuff. That's our node software that will be coming out within probably next year. That when we upgrade our software that we're running now, that will basically power the relayer. It only makes sense once we hit like massive scale to push that out. So then that we become like a big block builder. That's when we will be opening it up and allowing people use Dinero to pay for gas and stuff. And we're really pushing towards this kind of abstraction kind of thing where we want to make all our apps like very easy to use and kind of like provide our users with like the easiest and general Ethereum users with the easiest stablecoin and LST to access DeFi in general. So no one needs to worry about ETH, about gas and stuff like that. Just works. That's kind of the experience that works in Web 2 that we're kind of missing in our current world. So we wanted to really focus on that. And the next one is the Omni-chain. ETH, PX ETH, and APX ETH will also will have very good abstractions over bridges. Bridges can be complicated. You have a lot of segregated liquidity. So we're going to be like probably a month in or so after we build up liquidity for PX ETH. We'll be building these wrappers that will allow you to use your favorite bridging solutions, Chainlink, Layer 0, and zap across chain straight from our UI, and actually take in on the different dexes and stuff and provide liquidity wherever you want to do. And yeah, if you last but not least, I think just to give you the biggest higher, like a bit lower level would be in 2.1, which is if you scroll, one above this. This is pretty complex, but we will all the things beneath it. Once you get access to this, will break this down very easily. But yeah, PXE today basically runs on three things, which is the Dinero node software that we have, the beacon chain layer, which is basically this oracle that we have around like the big the ETH APIs. So like access to validators, their status stuff, whatever that feeds straight into our execution layer, which is where our smart contract lives, and that will handle all of the stuff. It's like the rewards, faults, managing validators, whatever, and everything is really on chain. There's never a case where ETH deposited into PX ETH will never get out back into the smart contract. It'll once it's in the validating, the withdraw keys are the smart contract, so it will always come back to it. So you wanted to put as much little multi-sig risk or any external risk as possible, and just actually make it a really immutable smart product where people can trust and use. So I think that should be enough for now. There's a lot more you guys can read later.
The validators stuff?
Yeah, the validators are managed by like with our custom node software that would be upgraded to the fully relayer stuff once at scale. But yeah, every single ETH API is exposed from this. So like we handle all the cases that validator gets slashed, whatever. That we made sure that won't happen, but we of course prepared for it and making sure that all of our users never have to deal with that. So yeah, validators will be run by us from day one. We're working right now with different DVT technology providers that like by next year that external operators can actually join the system and not just us running validators. That'll help us secure the system and also just make it that it never goes down.
Someone DM me saying that Discord is not working. Is that true, Colton?
No, it's working.
I think people can't join apparently. That's what.
GG's. I mean, sucks to suck.
One in, one out. Yeah. Exclusive exclusive launch party.
Yeah. We didn't design
Yeah,
Discord, so there's nothing we could do about it.
I'll check if it's permission.
Actually, one thing that actually very important to highlight, I forgot, is about our withdrawals. we support two versions of withdrawals. So we have like we have something called a buffer, which grows larger, the bigger, the TVL goes, so that we can forego a bit
let's
of.
show that let's show that in the in action with the immediate withdrawal section. You can talk through it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
okay, I'm just gonna confirm that it's
I think
not
50
rugged.
is the hard cap on the voice channel. So, and we have
Okay.
51 in here. So I think it's just maxed out.
Okay, well, sorry for everyone who couldn't make it. Okay, so let's launch the app. So as you guys know, there's 3 parts here. The Narrow and the Relay are coming soon, but let's start with PXETH. I'm going to connect my wallet here. As you can see, Wheels will show what the login with social means, but on the desktop you can see that we've made this other system where your mom and your dad can log in with their Twitter or Google or Apple or any of these other systems, top up their wallet directly within the app using MoonPay and all these other cool solutions. But let's use MetaMask, right? We have Coinbase, Phantom, Wallet Connect, but let's use MetaMask. Let me refresh here. Okay, one sec. Logging in. Connect. Okay, so we are logged in to the Gorily network, and what we're going to do here is we'll go through some of the cool things. So let's put ETH into PXETH. This is obviously just like hard-coded text here to start, but one thing that will be put into place after is when users are minting PXETH or APXETH directly on the UI, we're going to present them with a bunch of different utilities and options for them to use those tokens, right? So you can imagine for PXETH, mostly revolves around LP integrations, but APXETH might be things like the Yearn Vault or Unsheth or stablecoin or lending markets or whatever the case is, right? So all those integrations will be lined up right here for people to use. But let's start with ETH, right? So let's put in 10 ETH. All your stats are lined up here on the bottom, and let us mint. So I'm going to confirm this in the wallet. I don't know if you guys can see my wallet, but it should be fine. So we have to wait for Gorily here. Yep, transaction success. So let's close that. So now we have, well, I minted 10, but I was doing it before. So we have 12 PXETH here. And let's go to the stake and unstake page, and let's turn that PXETH that we minted into APXETH. So I'm going to take another 10 PXETH. I will approve it.
Oh yeah, and AutoPXETH is not 1-to-1 because there's other people who deposited into the vault, but it is 1-to-1 when you withdraw. It's just number goes up.
Yeah, the APXETH is like the RETH model where it's not rebasing, but the value of that APXETH just keeps increasing.
Yeah, and somebody asked, can you go straight from ETH to APXETH? The answer to that is yes. He just didn't show it in this demo. And then somebody asked if APXETH is staked. Yes. So if you are wanting to capitalize on staking yield, then you will use APXETH. If you are wanting to maybe capitalize on yield from a liquidity pair or some other integration that we have, you will be using PXETH. And the reason for this 2-token system is so that the yield is actually a little bit higher for APXETH users, and then PXETH users end up having, other use cases that they can take advantage of throughout DeFi.
Yeah, and it's also just functionally better. It's hard to, it just breaks a lot of the DeFi integrations if you had them all in one token as well, because you either have to take a model of rebasing or stuff like that, and that's just not clean and stops a lot of integrations.
Yep. So as you can see, we have an insufficient balance now because our APX balance has gone up to 10 ETH from the transaction I just executed. And I will pass it back to Never now to explain the withdraw system.
Yeah. We see that, going, especially for stuff like Dinero, which really requires a lot of liquidity, and stuff, it was really important that there's a very easy way for our users to go straight back to ETH whenever they want. So of course, one route is use an aggregator to actually swap it out if the liquidity is there, which is mostly what most people would do. But let's say if you're like someone has thousands of ETH and the liquidity pool cannot support your swap and provide you with like the slippage that you really want, you can there's two ways for you to kind of go back into ETH. You can either like use UPX ETH, which is a system where you actually notify one of our validators to start withdrawing your ETH. Right now, the queue is like a day or so, so you would give up that instant liquidity for getting back to ETH at a 1-to-1 rate, like a very stable rate without having any slippage. So yeah, the validator will get spun down. ETH from the consensus client will get refunded back into the execution client, and now you're able to withdraw it. And the other way we wanted to do is for people who really need the liquidity right now is you might pay like a higher fee, but we have this thing called a buffer where we forgo a little bit of yield, just like insignificant. Let's say like a couple percentage of like the total TVL.
Right, just to jump in there, that's this section. So I'll let you finish, but like standard is what you're used to with Lido and the other inferior staking products, and instant is a native feature that we've built into PXETH, which no one else has, which is what Never's talking about now.
Yeah, instant, the buffer will follow the TVL, and let's say we forgo, let's say 3% of the total yield over standard 4%. ETH is very insignificant, but the UX is a lot better for, let's say, our larger holders of PXETH that want to get out now, so they can basically go straight into ETH instantly. This helps a lot with Dinero, as Dinero would be like a large holder of PXETH, people are using CDPs or whatever. So we can liquidate very fast. And the cool innovation is this: that over time, let's say the bigger and more people provide liquidity here, is that you would actually not have like a bonding curve, like a curve or whatever. It'll basically be like a linear, constant curve. So it's very cheap and fast to get out. And so liquidity for ETH slowly becomes liquidity for PXE. So we can scale liquidity that way.
Yeah, and this helps us strategically also, right? Like, just to reiterate what he said, what we're seeing right now is a ton of these LSDFi projects like launching, right? And one thing that holds them back is the LTVs that an LSD can offer compared to the LTVs that ETH can offer, right? With the LSDs, like any other token, you're limited by the liquidity that you can get out of that token, right? So you have to manage debt caps more appropriately, and you have to put these different debt limits and all of this sort of stuff. But the benefit of PXETH, even though we have the 2-token system and our liquidity will be deeper than basically all the other LSDs eventually, that at any point, if some guy has 30% of the PXETH supply, like long on Maker or something, these protocols can hook up directly into our buffer system and be able to redeem that PXETH for actual ETH right away without having to depend on the depth of the total liquidity pool. But let's say you're not one of those users, you could use the standard withdrawal mechanism, or you can just go to the aggregators, which is hooked up directly in here, and you can get out via CowSwap, 1inch, Llama Swap, or any other aggregate. Doesn't really matter, directly from the UI. Okay, I'll let you. The claim section is pretty simple, but I'll let you take over again, Never.
Yeah, once you go through the standard, this is like if you don't need instant liquidity, but just want to someone in the next couple hours or day when I get back into ETH, you basically mint some UPX ETH, which is not time stamped, but it's stamped by the hash of the validator. So like exactly which validators that is getting withdrawn, that is going to basically fulfill your order, and then we will have a UI for that, but you could also, if you wanted to check, you can just call the main ETH APIs. So you have the key anyway. And then once that's done, the oracles will notify our contracts that your order has been fulfilled, and then you can burn your UPX ETH back into ETH. And that is done. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways and APIs for you to enter and exit the system, however you please, and depending on your need for liquidity.
Sick. So that's it. I haven't been able to see any of the questions, but I don't know, Colton, is there any questions?
I don't think so. Not on the past couple of minutes. However, we can kind of open the floor to questions. I don't know, Sammy, if you want to keep the stream open or not. Let me open the chat. That way I can see any questions here. But yeah, so if anybody has questions, feel free to drop them. We have a little bit of time. I'm actually shocked that the demo worked without breaking at all. So shout out to Wheels and Greens and everybody who kind of made the demo possible. Who is the Oracle provider for PXETH? I'm assuming you mean for the future whenever PXETH grows liquidity. Obviously, the number one target we're going to go after is Chainlink, but they have certain liquidity requirements, they have certain volume requirements, etc. So at first, I'm sure
I think
yeah, go ahead, Number.
I think what they're talking about is in within the diagram we shown, the Dinero oracles. Those are actually in our custom like node software. So each like we didn't want to rely on like external RPCs and stuff. So since we are running full clients, execution client and consistent client, we have we're up to date with all the latest data. So all of our nodes, which would be hundreds of thousands, all basically form consensus together. And then, after X number of blocks, let's say 12 or whatever we decide is the safe, finality, we'll actually post data to our smart contract. So we are always, but of course, over time, we would, like we said, would upgrade other people who can join the network. So this gets a bit more robust and also like have backups like Chainlink or whatever that we can fall back on. But for now, this is the safest way to do this.
Sweet. And Ark asked about the the PXETH bot. I'm sure Wheels will get a deposit bot spun up at some point whenever it actually goes live. Sorry, Wheels. I just put that on your plate. Cool.
It's all right. It's not too bad.
Any other questions?
Oh, maybe Wheels, while questions are coming in, you want to try and give the mobile with Privy a spin?
Yeah, definitely. Let's try and share here. So yeah, one of the other major integrations that we have here is with Privy, which is essentially just an account abstraction provider allowing people who aren't crypto native to use our app with all its functionality. As Sammy mentioned, MoonPay integrated. Don't need to acquire ETH by themselves, but don't need to worry about having a wallet, having their seed phrase, all of that, and allows them a path to transition to having their seed phrase and MetaMask and all. So on the top here, if we go, you can see we have the normal connect, but you can also go ahead and log in with social. If we click that, we see a bunch of different options. Just going to log in with email for this one. You'll see it will send you a notification. Nobody email me. And then you are connected, just as you would be normally. You can see up top you have a wallet address. When you click on your account, you have all the same features that you would normally. Basically, the copy address, disconnect. You also have some additional functionality where you can export your wallet. And what that will do is it basically allows you to access your private key from the account abstracted wallet. So if you want to transfer to a tradition, if you want to move over from Privy to MetaMask, that you can do that. Also funding. If you go ahead and click on this, we can just it will send you to MoonPay, and this will basically allow you to. Please don't email me. This will allow you to basically fund your account with ETH. Basically, removing the friction as far as starting up, which is great for new users. And the UI will demonstrate that that if you don't have enough ETH to complete the transactions, instead of saying mint here, it would say buy ETH and mint. And then when you click that, it would basically bring up the same MoonPay setup as you would normally. Okay, so let's basically go through and mint here. When we click mint, we can see the same thing that. Oh, sorry about that. When you go ahead and click mint, you see the same thing that we saw in Sammy's demo. You go ahead and click confirm, but instead of having to go externally to your MetaMask wallet or whatnot, Privy automatically handles all of the confirmations. So you don't have to worry about clicking another additional approve. You don't have to worry about this sort of fairly bad UX that is MetaMask mobile wallet. Everything just automatically works in the backend, which is excellent, honestly. And then, as you can see here, the PXETH balance updated, APX balance updated, and we have our thing. Yeah. Other than that, app is fully mobile optimized. You can see we have all the functionality that you would on the main thing. Go ahead to withdrawals and just sort of take a look at everything. But yes, that's the whole Privy flow. The goal is basically setting up or allowing non-crypto native users and also lots of mobile users to use our product, trying to gain as much as possible. If you got some questions about MoonPay, so anything related to MoonPay is fully handled by MoonPay. So I believe they do have geographically limited setup. So whatever your normal MoonPay restrictions would be, that you still have to follow those. You could also just send a wallet to ETH that you do have your address. They could go ahead and just copy your address and then send the wallet to ETH.
Yeah, and there was also a question about the fees they charge. I don't know off the top of my head what the fees are, but I'm pretty sure they disclose those in the user flow somewhere. If I remember correctly from when I used it like forever ago for something. And then on top of that, I think there are likely to be other solutions that we could integrate in the future, and I don't think we'd have any hesitation to do that if they were easy to integrate.
Yeah, so here's just a quick thing when you click on the continue to MoonPay, it will give you all your fees, just like normal on-ramping. Same thing as it would be elsewise.
Sweet. I can't believe we went 2 for 2 on demos working and not breaking. That seems like some sort of miracle. Swaggy asks when PXETH integration into Ledger Live app. Yeah, I mean, all of that depends on our ability to figure that stuff out whenever we go live. But I think anything that we could have started on, we've definitely already started working on to make sure that it's ready to go. And yeah, like Sammy mentioned, we've got Butterfly on there not too long ago. So we're trying to stay on top of everything. We obviously we do understand the importance of making sure that we make PXETH as easy as possible to use for every person in the space, because you only have one chance to make a good first impression a lot of the time, especially in a space as competitive as the liquid staking space. So we're staying on top of all that. Are we getting into why ETH? I don't know. Funky BD folks, any opinion on that?
It's
Yeah, I mean, I can
go for it, guy.
Yeah, we're talking with all these guys, right? Like we're talking with brand new protocols that spinned up on BSC all the way to Eigenlayer and Yearn and all these other projects, right? Like obviously nothing can be done until mainnet is live and we obviously see things over the line. But when it comes to talking to these guys, if it's someone like Yearn, obviously we're talking to them. We're not gonna put anything up or the proposal to get added until things are live. And then when it comes to the lending product integrations, the Chainlink, it needs time. Chainlink, we have a good relationship with them. We just had a meeting with them, but they can't list the Chainlink price feed until there's a month at least of history, right? So stuff that needs an oracle, like maybe a bit more of a delay than things like YETH, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and Boxy asked, presume this is all L1 for now. Any plans to go L2 with it, or is that a stupid question? It is not a stupid question. And I mean, of course, it'll start on L1, but yeah, we have plans to rapidly expand to L2 after, like Karn just said, after we get everything handled on mainnet, like L2 is top of mind. And I think we're already having some of those conversations.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we would, is also in our documentation and our white paper that it's very important. That's why we're going to be building the Omnichain PXETH with, the best messaging services there is. Yeah, it's just liquidity is king, and liquidity is all on mainnet, so it just makes sense we launch there now. Not a lot of activity happening right now, not on most L2s. So first, we got to solidify ourselves on mainnet, and then it makes sense to so it'll be exciting. Like there's a lot of stages of this, of how we grow this product. But first is mainnet.
Cool. Any other questions that people have? If not, we can let everybody sit on this. This is the first time I think we've tried a demo and everything, so I'm stoked that it worked. I think this is going to be something we could try more often as we kind of go through various releases and stuff, especially now that we know it works. It's kind of dope that, we still have so many of you all to fill up an entire call. That's pretty cool. I mean, I've been keeping up with other communities, and most of them don't even have 15 people turning up to their community calls and stuff. So we're super grateful for all of you coming to hang out with us every other Friday. It's fun.
And also the voice channel has these sounds. Hey, listen. One sec. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's changed, but
if I knew that was there, but
yeah, you could have been working in that thing the whole time. That would have been fucking sick.
I have some good ones here. Some guys, we have to add these sounds. What do you got?
Do you have the crickets for the jokes?
Oh,
Yeah,
there's crickets.
Who's doing the joke this week?
I don't know. I don't think we have.
I think it should be Colton, bro.
No, I'm actually immune from telling jokes. I have like what is it called? Diplomatic immunity. I can't be touched.
Would it be dirty to make John Marco do the joke?
Yeah. The next.
I don't know if this is our John Marco.
Next call.
Next.
I mean,
Okay,
to be honest, we have this opportunity. I mean, I don't know if anybody else can chat, but we could get somebody from the audience to make a joke.
That sounds.
No, they can't unmute.
Yeah, that sounds.
We need somebody to be like, is this gonna last till summer or some shit?
You would just have to unmute them.
That seems very bold. I think what we should do is wrap this thing up. Unless Funky, I know you sent a message earlier about wanting to touch on one other feature of PyRexETH. If you still want to do that while we have time.
I mean, yeah. I mean, do you think we should cover it, Sammy? The futures bit.
Yeah. Do you want to do it?
Yeah. I mean, I'm really bullish about this. I mean, like, I think Sammy never touched on a lot of points that make PXETH different than other LSDs. I think that's a big thing in this very competitive space. Like, touched on the really good liquidity that we have in multiple ways, the very innovative liquidity pool we have, the double token system, the extremely decentralized nature. But what's really cool is that, kind of like with PXCVX, with PXETH, you have the ability to mint future yield. So that's really cool for two things. First of all, obviously you can mint the future yield, but you can also mint like future PXETH, which means that you can basically, if you have a future PXETH token, you can claim that PXETH in the future. So the way we're calling it for PXETH is principal ETH and yield ETH. And what's really cool is for PXCVX, I think we had a bit of I think for PXCVX, I think the difficulty with our futures market and yield market was that it's a kind of a small asset class, whereas for PXETH, and with a really deep liquidity that we're going to have which should really help our one-to-one peg with ETH, is that PX ETH and the ability to kind of mint yield and futures will give us a really good ability to kind of play into this kind of future ETH market, which, potentially could be really big. It's the second biggest asset, crypto asset in the world. So yeah, I think there's a lot of cool integrations we can do that, and a lot of ways that we can, create yields and use cases for PXE.
Like, Nocta asked if this will be done with a PX or with a Pendle integration.
It will be built into the protocol, so there's definitely, like, you could do it without an integration, but of course integrations are welcome to different user interfaces to interact with. We just want to build the tools here and the value capture, which is on the protocol layer, and any integration and stuff are welcome. So we will definitely be working with Pendle. We have a hidden hand market there, so we'll definitely be supporting. And also touching on the future stuff, UPX ETH is also another kind of like feature, which is a tradable token, right? Like we said, when you withdraw, like let's say it takes like a day for it to go from UPX ETH to ETH, that's still another asset class that we're just creating, which is basically like a very short-term fund on ETH. So that we'll be playing around with. That you can just quickly provide liquidity, take a loan on ETH for like a day, pay a small fee, that's a small discount, and be able to that's the roof. But yeah, it's another asset class that would be starting from 0 to 1.
Somebody take the sound
It's
away
just
from
testing
Sammy.
sounds. Testing the sounds.
Well, cool. I think we can kind of wrap it up here then.
That's for the joke.
That's crazy. I didn't know they did.
That's when
kind of
Gianmarco
bullish
does
on
his
Discord now. That's kind of sick. But I guess we can't do that on the town hall stage. You can only do it in the
I don't
voice
know.
chat.
I just saw it.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure
just
that
saw
out.
it.
'Cause that's fucking sick. All right. Anyway, we'll kind of wrap it up here. Again, shout out to all of you for coming to hang out.
What? One more thing. That was for you, Boxy. We launched the hidden hand market for DFX. You might be seeing some more hidden hand markets popping up here and there. There's been a slight, I wouldn't say like pivot, but like a slight change in strategy where like, I think for like hidden hand, we're in a stage now where like we have some more features coming up soon. And on top of that, like I think the best plan of action is to just launch markets for anyone and everyone who asks. So we had this backlog of people who were asking for markets, and you guys saw we launched DFX, which kind of came out of nowhere, but there might be some more coming up. But yeah, if you happen to be in DFX, also check that out. That one should be good fun. And there's a couple whitelisting proposals too, which is like have had some delays because of liquidity situations. So one of them was rate, which I brought up in general not too long ago. And the reason that those ones haven't been going to Snapshot is because there's just no liquidity for them. So, someone could put up a $1 bribe in rate or $1 billion bribe in rate, and there's no way for us to actually verify if that's true or not, because there's not only like, it's not like there's like not $5,000, like there's $0 in liquidity. So, but like it wasn't a malicious proposal. They're good guys, but like we just have to some of these guys like the CADC and Raid and some of these other people who've been asking for whitelists on Hidden Hand, like it might take a bit longer than expected as we just work out some kinks where like it's not on us, it's on them, where we can collectively work out some kinks where they can start bribing in the token they want. But yeah, that's the main Hidden Hand update.
Cool. All right. Anything else last minute before we wrap this thing up? Good. All right, cool. Well, again, I probably said this 4 times already, but thanks all for coming to hang out. This was super fun. I'm sure we will do it again in the future. I mean, it's Friday. 50 people turned out for the demo, which is dope. I'll get the recording edited and uploaded hopefully on Monday. I just want to make sure it turns out right and the quality is good before we upload. So yeah, thanks again. Look out for a PXE testnet launch coming near you soon. And we hope you all give it a try, give feedback, check out the UI, give feedback on that, check out the site, give feedback on that, etc. So thanks again, everybody. And yeah, have a good Friday and rest of your weekend. Peace.
Peace.